At this time, I would like to introduce our commencement speaker, Mr. Garth Callaghan. Garth has been diagnosed with cancer 4 times in the past 3 years. He is currently receiving treatment. When his daughter Emma was in kindergarten, Garth started to write an inspirational note on a napkin and tuck it away in her lunchbox each day. A few sample notes read, "In a year, what will you have wished you started today? Don't change so people will like you. Be yourself and the right people will love the real you. If opportunity doesn't knock, build a door." When he was diagnosed with cancer, he became worried that he may not live to see Emma graduate from high school. But he wanted to continue the napkin note tradition. So he set out to write all the notes Emma would need to see her through to graduation. In all, he wrote 826 napkin notes just in case. From this grew opportunity, hope, and inspiration. Garth has authored a book, Napkin Notes, Make Lunch Meaningful, Life Will Follow. New Line Cinema has plans to turn it into a movie, which is being produced by Reese Witherspoon. Garth has also been a guest on such shows as Fox and Friends, Rachel Ray, Dr. Oz, and The Today Show. Currently, Garth lives in Virginia with his daughter Emma and wife of 18 years, Lisa. He wakes up each day looking to inspire other parents to write napkin notes to their children and to inspire cancer patients to fight and live well. Today, it is my humble honor and great pleasure to introduce 1987 South Lewis High School graduate, Mr. Garth Callaghan.
You know, whenever I hear somebody introduce myself with such kind words, I think, gosh, I really want to meet that guy. And then I realize it's me, and I'm so average. I'm a normal, everyday person. But thank you very much for that kind introduction. I'm honored to be here today. It's your day, and it's amazing. I'd also like to extend thanks to the Board of Education, its president, Mr. Barry Warzak, who taught me social studies in high school, the administration, the principal, Mr. Chad Luther, and of course, Mr. Doug Primo, the superintendent, for allowing me to speak today. It's my honor. When Doug and I first started talking about coming here, he was excited, genuinely excited. I was ecstatic. And he asked only 2 things of me. Please impart your ideas of how to be successful and the meaning of life, and can you please keep it under 9 minutes? So again, congratulations. This experience is very humbling for me. It's your milestone, and I'm here to help celebrate. And I'm sure that I'm supposed to stand up here and say things like, carpe diem, follow your dreams, live your passions. And although I want you to live your passions and follow your dreams, that's not why I'm here. I'm about as average and ordinary as you can get. I wasn't my class valedictorian. I didn't even finish college. I live in a fairly average home, but I have a wonderful wife and a phenomenal daughter. I think I'm a damned good dad. However, I am average. There are 3 things that I do that make all of the difference. So after you sit back and you've recovered from today's ceremonies, do something. It's that simple. Do something. No great story ever starts out with the words, "No thanks, I think I'm going to sit this one out." People who change the world are doers. They take action. When I first sat down to write my book, I was scared, genuinely terrified. I had never written a book before. And if the book was to have meaning, if the words were to have a truly lasting impact, I would have to expose myself. I would have to be brutally honest show my fears and my hopes and my dreams, and that's scary. Doing something, creating something, standing up for something you believe in, all of that is to risk failure, and even worse, rejection. How could I ever overcome those fears? I wrote the book. I did something. The best way to overcome fear is to punch it in the face. Do you want to write a book? Write a book. Do you want to learn how to scuba dive? Take some swimming lessons and learn how to scuba dive. Do it. Do you want to become mayor? Talk to your neighbors. Get out the vote. Run for mayor. President of the United States? You're not going to get there by sitting on the sofa. There are plenty of excuses that you could throw out and say, that'll never happen. I can't do it. But before you throw out an excuse, ask yourself 2 questions. What's one reason why this could work? And what if I succeed? People who change the world are doers. They don't say they aren't afraid of failing or making mistakes. They're probably terrified of it. They just don't let fear get in their way of doing that thing. And they don't sit on the sidelines of life. Do something. My daughter loves to play softball, and I absolutely love to watch her play. She's played on some spectacular teams, and she's been on a few teams that rivaled the Bad News Bears. But the one thing that I want her to come away from every game is that it's not win or lose. It's win or learn. Run your own race. Stop comparing yourself to everyone else, and define your own success. When I started sharing napkin notes, I wanted to inspire dads to pack lunches and to include handwritten notes for their kids. I posted pictures of Emma's notes daily and hoped that dads would copy me. And I knew that I hit it the big time when my local newspaper, the Richmond Times-Dispatch, ran an article for back to school. That November, I was eating lunch with a dear friend, Jeannie Walls, and she looked at me and asked a piercing question. What does napkin note success look to you? And keep in mind, I had just been diagnosed with cancer for my 3rd time. I really wasn't focusing on napkin notes, and I really wasn't giving it a lot of thought. But although I wasn't prepared for that question, I had a glib answer ready. I want dads to write notes to their kids. I want 1,000 likes on Facebook. And I want to sit across the sofa from Ellen DeGeneres and talk about napkin notes. So I had 3 criteria for success. Get dads to pack lunches and write notes, 1,000 likes on Facebook, and sit across from Ellen. Let's grade my success. 85% of the napkin notes community are women, moms, sisters, and daughters. That Thanksgiving, the napkin notes community had slightly more than 800 likes. I've never been on the Ellen Show. Delaney, how's that for a pile of manure? 0 for 3. I attended my 10-year high school reunion back in the summer of 1997. Yes, I'm that old. And the class president, Minnie Bronson, stood up before dinner and said something I remember to this day. So, Patrick, keep note of that. The class president does have to do something. She looked around the room and she stated, I see a lot of different types of success here. What a rich statement. A few years later, when I brought that up to her, she didn't even know that she had said it. It was something throwaway for her. But I've remembered it ever since that day. So 2, define your own success. And I believe that moms and sisters and daughters that are part of the Napkin Notes community are the most passionate group of people out there. And although I've never been invited to chat with Ellen yet, I've had the very fortunate opportunity to speak on many other national platforms, and not just about napkin notes, about things that I'm very passionate about, like patient advocacy and sharing medical data. This grand failure is our biggest success story. run your own race, and define your own success. So, even if you do something and you define your own success, neither one of them means anything without this third thing. I look at the last few years of my life, and they have been utterly crazy, scary, wonderful, uncertain, and ever-changing. And it's made me focus on the most important things in my life: my family and my friends. And I know what some of you are thinking. My family's dysfunctional. Well, to quote the great Dave Ramsey, of course it is. There's people in them. I wouldn't be anywhere if it weren't for the love and support of my family and friends. And I can't even begin to list how supportive they've been. Anything from my wife making food that I can tolerate, allowing me to travel away from home to speak like today, to my daughter telling me she's proud of what I'm doing. And that support goes way beyond my immediate family. It includes my sister and her family, my mom, and even cousins I haven't seen in years. Why is this so important to me? Because they're family. We're family. Your community of friends and neighbors is just as important. Help your community when you can. Accept help when you need to. Embrace your relationships. Cherish your loved ones. But most of all, help. There's a great quote by Mother Teresa, which I love. If you can't feed 100 people, then feed just one. At the end of our lives, the only thing that matters is your family and friends. So 3 things. Do something, define your own success, and embrace your relationships. All right, it's time to start. Go do something. Change the world. We believe in you.